All right, let's dive into cycling warmers. They're kind of like a secret weapon for those shoulder seasons, those in-between times when the weather just can't make up its mind.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's those chilly mornings that turn into sunny afternoons. Always leaves you wondering what to wear.
Exactly. And we've gotten a ton of questions about warmers, like what even are they? Why use them instead of just long sleeves or leggings? Do they have to be waterproof? Oh, and the big one, can you take them off while you're riding?
We'll definitely cover all that, but first, maybe we should break down exactly what these warmers are and why they're so useful, especially for cyclists.
Perfect. So, what are these magical warmers all about?
Basically, imagine removable sleeves and legs for your cycling kit. They add a layer of warmth without that bulkiness of full-length clothes. Usually they're made from those same thermal, stretchy fabrics you find in jerseys and bib shorts.
Makes sense. But honestly, why not just wear a long sleeve jersey and tights? What's the advantage of all these separate pieces?
That's where the versatility comes in. Picture this. You're starting your ride, it's a crisp morning, but you know it'll warm up later. Warmers let you adjust your comfort level on the fly. Get too warm, peel them off, stuff them in your jersey pocket. No need to change your whole outfit.
So it's all about adapting, being ready for anything.
Yeah,
You mentioned arm warmers, leg warmers. Let's start with leg warmers. Lots of people are curious about those. You said they're great for cycling, especially when it's 40 to 50 degrees Fahrenheit. What's so special about that temperature range?
well, it's often that sweet spot where tights would be too much, but you'd freeze with bare legs. Leg warmers give you just enough warmth to keep those muscles happy, prevent cramping, which can really mess up your ride.
So it's not just about comfort, it can actually help your performance.
Exactly. There's even some science behind it. Keeping your leg muscles warm helps with blood flow, reduces fatigue, you can ride stronger for longer.
Interesting. It's like giving your legs a cozy hug to help them do their best. Now, what about water resistance? Do all warmers need to be waterproof? What if you get caught in a sudden downpour?
That's a good point, and it depends on where you usually ride and what you prefer. Not all warmers are made the same when it comes to waterproofing. Some have that DWR coating, durable water repellent.
hmm
It's a good barrier against light rain or drizzle.
So kind of like a shield against those surprise sprinkles.
Exactly. But if you're talking torrential downpours, you might want special waterproof oversocks, like sealskins makes, to keep your feet dry and warm.
Okay, so there are choices for different levels of water resistance. Back to leg warmers for a minute. Many listeners want to know how to actually use them. Any special techniques?
They're pretty straightforward, really. You just slip them on over your cycling shorts, make sure they're snug but not too tight. Good blood circulation is key. A lot of leg warmers have grippers at the top so they don't slide down while you're riding.
No awkward bunching or readjusting every few minutes.
Nope. As for taking them off, it's safest to stop your bike completely. But with a little practice, you can master the on-the-go leg warmer removal. Just got to stay in control of your bike and be aware of your surroundings.
You can already picture cyclists everywhere perfecting their leg warmer dismounts.
It's quite a sight. But seriously, leg warmers are a great way to extend your riding season, enjoy those cooler rides without sacrificing comfort or performance.
All right, so we've got the leg warmers down. Now let's talk about those upper body heroes, arm warmers. Are they really worth adding to your cycling wardrobe?
Absolutely. They offer a bunch of benefits besides just keeping your arms warm. They also protect against UV rays, which is important for those long rides, even on cloudy days.
Built-in sunscreen for your arms, basically.
Yep, that's it. Plus, a lot of arm warmers have reflective details, which adds an extra safety layer, especially when it's getting dark.
You mentioned some jerseys have those seamless rock-cut sleeves. They almost feel like built-in arm warmers. What's the advantage of those?
Those sleeves are designed to be snug and aerodynamic. They cut down on drag, which can be good if you're looking for that extra performance boost. And they usually provide the same level of warmth and comfort as traditional arm warmers.
So it's about finding the right mix of performance and comfort. And speaking of comfort, let's tackle the big question everyone's waiting for. Can you take off arm warmers while you're riding? Or do you have to pull over like you would with a jacket?
The million-dollar question. And the answer is yes, you can definitely take them off while riding, but it takes a bit of practice. You got to carefully pull down the arm warmer while keeping a good grip on the handlebars.
Sounds like a move straight out of a cycling ninja training manual.
Mm.
But for beginners, stopping is probably the safest bet, right?
For sure. Safety first. Always. Until you're comfortable with the technique, it's best to stop the bike completely to remove your arm warmers. But once you've mastered the art of the on-the-fly removal, You'll be gliding through temperature changes like a pro.
Yeah, it's a cool idea, right? How physical comfort and mental performance might be connected. There's actually some research that shows a link between feeling warm and feeling good.
No kidding. So maybe those warmers are doing more than just keeping us physically warm. Maybe they're giving us a little mental boost too, more confidence on the bike.
It's definitely possible. And speaking of interesting connections, have you ever noticed how pro cyclists often wear arm and leg warmers, even when it doesn't seem that cold out?
Now that you mention it, yeah, I always figured it was just a pro cycling fashion thing.
Well, it's more than just looks. There are actual performance reasons behind it.
Really? Tell me more. For one, warmers can help regulate their body temperature when they're pushing really hard, preventing them from overheating and keeping their muscles working their best. And remember how we talked about the aerodynamic advantage? Some pros believe that wearing arm warmers, even in mild weather, smooths out the airflow over their arms. Less drag, better efficiency overall.
So it's all about those tiny gains, those marginal improvements that professional athletes are always looking for.
Right. Every little bit counts. And then there's the mental side we were talking about. Maybe those warmers give them a sense of familiarity, like a comfort zone, helping them feel more confident and focused during those high-pressure races.
Wow. It's amazing how something as simple as a pair of warmers can have such a big effect on both the physical and mental sides of cycling.
Totally. It shows how important it is to pay attention to every detail, no matter how small, when you're trying to optimize your performance and just enjoy being on the bike.
You mentioned earlier that some pros hand off their arm warmers to their team cars once they're warmed up.
Mhm.
Is there like a special technique for taking off arm warmers mid-ride without, wiping out?
Well, like we said before, stopping is always the safest option. But if you really want to master the art of on-the-go removal, the key is to keep your bike under control and be super aware of what's around you. One way is to carefully pull down the arm warmer while keeping a good grip on the handlebars with your other hand.
It's a delicate balance, huh? Bike handling skills and strategic undressing.
You could say that. And practice makes perfect. Start with short rides, and as you get more comfortable, gradually increase the distance.
Makes sense. Any advice for cyclists who are new to warmers? Any tips as they start exploring this whole warmer world?
Sure thing. First off, don't get bogged down by all the different choices out there. Start by figuring out your specific needs and what kind of conditions you usually ride in. Are you mainly a road cyclist, a mountain biker, or do you mostly commute? Mostly dry weather, or do you often ride in rain and wind? Once you know your riding style and the typical weather, you can start narrowing down your options.
So it's like making your own personal warmer profile.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to ask for advice from other cyclists or go to your local bike shop. They can be super helpful and help you find the perfect warmers for your needs.
Right, there's a ton of knowledge and experience in the cycling community. Speaking of knowledge, are there any common misconceptions about warmers that you'd like to clear up?
Well, one big one is that warmers are only for when it's freezing out. As we've talked about, they can be helpful in all kinds of conditions, chilly mornings, windy days, even for regulating your body temperature when you're really pushing it. Another one is that they're bulky and uncomfortable. Nowadays, with all the advances in fabric technology, warmers are super lightweight, breathable, and flexible. They fit snug, but don't restrict your movement at all.
It's not about looking like a snowman. It's about that sweet spot between warmth, comfort, and performance.
Exactly. And don't forget about style. Warmers come in tons of colors and designs, so you can express your personal style and still get the benefits of warmth and protection.
Like the fashion meets function of the cycling world.
Totally. Just like any cycling gear, finding the right warmers is about personal preference and trying things out. Don't be afraid to experiment with different brands and styles until you find the ones that feel perfect for you.
It's really amazing how much we've learned about warmers today. There's so much more than just a simple piece of clothing.
Yeah, it's been a pretty fascinating journey for sure. From their practical benefits to how they can even affect you mentally, warmers play a surprisingly big role in how we experience cycling.
They really do. And I think one of the biggest takeaways for me has been how important adaptability is. Warmers let us adjust to those constantly changing conditions we often face out on the road or trail, making sure we can stay comfortable and perform our best no matter what the weather throws at us.
Absolutely. And that adaptability isn't just physical, it's also about our mindset, our approach to cycling. Warmers help us extend our riding season, embrace those cooler days, and challenge ourselves in new ways. They really embody that spirit of resilience and determination that's at the heart of cycling.
I love that way of looking at it. It's not just about staying warm, it's about pushing our limits and embracing the full range of cycling experiences.
Exactly. And that leads us to another interesting aspect of warmers, their history, how they've evolved over time.
Oh, I'm always up for a good history lesson, especially when it comes to the gear we use.
Well, warmers have been around for a long time, going all the way back to the early days of cycling. Back then, they were often made from things like wool, even newspaper sometimes, and they were mainly used for warmth and protection from the elements. But as cycling technology and materials got better, so did the design and function of warmers.
So they've come a long way from those basic wool coverings.
Oh, definitely. Today's warmers are sleek, lightweight, and incredibly versatile. They're made with high-tech fabrics that are breathable, moisture-wicking, and some even give you aerodynamic advantages. And with more and more focus on sustainability these days, we're seeing warmers made from recycled materials using eco-friendly production methods.
That's great to hear. It's good to see that progress towards better performance and taking care of the planet.
It really is. And as cycling keeps growing and changing, I'm sure we'll see even more innovative designs and technologies in warmers in the future.
I'm excited to see what the future holds for these unsung heroes of cycling gear.
Me too. But for now, let's appreciate the warmers we have and all the rides they've made better.
Couldn't agree more. And for all of you listening who are ready to join the warmer revolution, I encourage you to explore the different options out there, find what works for you, and see just how much these versatile pieces of clothing can change your riding experience. They might just change how you think about cycling altogether.
Well said. Happy riding, everyone.